Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at the 10 strangest things found in people's backyards. What's in your backyard? A ball? A pool? Well, who knows, perhaps hidden in a bush or even underground, there are some amazing discoveries to be found. From carrots wearing wedding rings to $1 million Ferraris, stay tuned to be amazed. But first, why not subscribe and turn on notifications too? Coming in at number 10 we have ring. Wedding rings are one of our most precious possessions, but they're also the possession which is reported to the police as missing the most. Over 100,000 Americans lose their wedding rings every year. For example, Kim Kardashian lost her diamond wedding ring in a swimming pool, but her story is nothing compared to that of a Canadian woman named Mary Grams. In 1951, her husband-to-be named Norman gave her a wedding ring. He'd been saving up for months to buy it, and Mary totally adored it. However, Mary soon lost it before their wedding, and for over a decade they had no idea where it was. Now you may be thinking if you can't find something for over a decade, then it's gone forever. But in 2017, 13 years after she lost it, she found the ring in her backyard. But that's not the interesting part. She found a carrot had grown around her ring. Mary said she likely lost it pulling a large weed out from her garden. Somehow the ring must have ended up in their vegetable patch, and a carrot literally grew around it. Mary since got a replacement ring, so the couple decided to leave the ring on the carrot and leave it as a symbol of hope and love. Next up is fallout shelter. During the Cold War between the USA and the USSR, some people who feared the worst built fallout shelters on their property. But seeing as most of these were built in the early 60s, people moved from their homes and forgot all about their shelters. However, in 2017, a man named John Sims moved to a new house in Tucson, Arizona. It was all normal until he noticed something odd in the backyard. He inspected it, and it turned out to be the hatch of a fallout shelter. It was made of reinforced concrete and had a fiberglass ceiling which could survive a nuclear blast. John also found various supplies, such as water and canned food. However, they were from the 1960s, so they could probably do more harm to you than a nuke could. Another fascinating thing John found under this crazy fallout bunker was a floor plan the original owner of the place had made. Some say JFK had secret nuclear shelters all over the USA for him and his family to be in, so maybe this is what John found. But no matter the history behind this place, John plans to restore it and make it into a man cave. Ah, man caves, the modern fallout shelter. Next up is Ferrari. If we dug up our backyards, we'd probably find some former house pets and some old tin cans. Of course, a wedding ring and a nuclear shelter have already been found on this list, but they're not as cool as this. In 1978, Los Angeles, California, two boys were playing in the backyard of their home digging in the mud, when all of a sudden they hit the roof of a car with their shovels. They rushed to tell their parents, who didn't believe them at first. But once they saw it, there was no mistaking that a car was buried underneath their backyard. They called in police and an excavation crew who dug up a 1974 Ferrari Dino worth $180,000 at the time. To put that into perspective, now they're worth more like $500,000. Police did some digging and found the car was stolen. You see, the criminal had stolen the car and then buried it until the heat cooled down to collect it later. But I bet they didn't expect their master plan to be foiled by two kids playing in a backyard. Next up is medieval flair. We have dangerous and scary weaponry today, like pistols and nukes. But medieval weaponry is scary for a whole other reason. And what medieval instrument of pain could be scarier than the flail? In case you're too busy watching YouTube to go to history class, a flail was a giant metal spiky ball attached to a stick. Well, a few years back, a man was digging a hole in his backyard when suddenly he struck something hard. No, it wasn't a Ferrari again. This time, a medieval flail was found. He posted it on Reddit and it went viral, with many people asking what on earth the man thinks it was doing there. He has no idea, but experts say this is likely from medieval times and was simply discarded there, and since then the ground has grown over it. What would you do if you found a medieval flail in your backyard? Next up is giant shell. This is one of the most astonishing discoveries in recent years. In 2015, a farmer from Buenos Aires was taking a walk around his property on New Year's Eve. The farmer named Jose Antonio Nivas wasn't expecting much when he was walking, but instead he discovered something mind-blowing. On a riverbank near his farm was a giant prehistoric armadillo shell. He immediately called in experts who said it may be the prehistoric shell of a glyptodon. Glyptodons are now extinct, but they were like huge armadillos with giant teeth. At first he thought it was a dinosaur egg, as he noticed a large hole in it. However, this may just be from wear and tear to the shell. The find was so amazing, some people said it was fake at first, but no, this is 100% real. And to top it all off, this is the only find on this list by an animal, as it was actually the farmer's dog that found it and began barking. Next up is treasure. We've seen some valuable things found in backyards already, but no matter how many Ferraris or wedding rings you find, they will never be worth more than what this couple found. One day in 2014, a couple were walking their dog around their rural Northern Californian property. Suddenly they realized something was sticking out of the ground, so they dug it up. and what they found was 1,427 Gold Rush era coins. They were buried in a chest and were all super rare collectibles. They would have amounted to less than $1,000 back then, but today these are worth $11 million. They were auctioned at the San Francisco Mint and on Amazon, with one coin selling for $15,000. The couple made an insane $11.4 million from the sale of the coins, which makes this one of the luckiest finds ever. Next up, we have 16-million-year-old fossil. Ever since he was a kid, Orange County resident Gary Johnson would love exploring the canyons around his home. And this never changed when he became an adult, because in 2014, Gary found something unbelievable near a local canyon. He thought it was a large rock at first, but later realized it was a fossil. He called an expert who said it wasn't anything special, but Gary didn't take his word for this, and worked on the fossil all summer, chipping the dirt off it with a hammer and screwdriver. And when he was done, him and his friends dislodged the 1,000-pound fossil and rolled it up the canyon into his backyard that the canyon backed onto. At first, he thought he just found an awesome fossil, but after getting an expert to come and inspect it, they discovered the fossil was between 14 and 16 million years old. It turned out to be a rare white fossil, so rare in fact it's one of only 20 on Earth. People have looked for this for decades, but Gary simply found it right by his backyard. Next up is coin. We've already had one amazing $11 million coin find on this list. Now this coin may not be worth the same amount, but the coin on its own is rarer. But it's how they found it which makes this story so hilarious. One guy needed to go to the bathroom, but he was busy in his large backyard. So he decided to take a sneaky go in the bush. However, as he was peeing, he noticed something shiny on the ground. And no, it wasn't pee. He pulled it out of the ground and saw it was a coin. After an expert came round, they determined it was a 300-year-old coin. It may not be $11 million worth of coins, but the coin on its own was valued at over $20,000. Next up is ball. We all probably have a ball in our yard, whether it be a basketball, football, or baseball. But in 2014, one Reddit user made an amazing discovery in his backyard. He found a golf ball all the way from 1899 in his backyard in the Bronx. He wasn't sure what it was at first, so he put it on Reddit, and within hours somebody had already found out the ball's patent information. This allowed him to value the ball too, and an expert said it could be worth over $14,000. This of course isn't like the rubber golf balls we know today. This type of old golf ball is called a gutty ball and was handmade by a carpenter from wood. Just imagine taking a shot so bad you can't find the ball for 150 years. Yeah, something tells me that guy never got a hole in one. Next up is Mastodon skeleton. Mastodons were ice age animals similar to mammoths but far rarer. The last bone found of a mastodon was way back in the 1940s. That was until 2016 when one Michigan man found something odd in his backyard. He thought it was the skeleton of a goat at first, but an expert came to check and even they had no idea what it was. So they called a fossil hunter who confirmed this was a skeleton of a mastodon. The man was shocked this was in his backyard, but it is an amazing find that actually helped scientists learn more about this extinct animal. Check out the poll in the top right corner to vote for the most amazing find on this list. And guys, definitely subscribe to my second channel, The Crafty. There'll be a video for the channel on screen in a moment, so be sure to click it and subscribe. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.